to spookiest little kohai Neko! And this is the horror anime tier list. Now with this list, I only wanted to focus on anime I've seen myself. And after making this list, I realized there is a lot of horror anime that I've missed. So if I ended up missing one of your favorites, please let me know down in the comments. I also omitted anime films on this list, so I'm only ranking series. Plus I opted to trim some anime that I thought were closer to thrillers or dark fantasies rather than horror to keep the list concise. A fair warning, due to the nature of some of these animes, there might be some spoilers in this video, so please proceed with caution. Now without further ado, let's go! Another. I feel like this anime gets a lot of flack for being too generic or too ridiculous, but in my opinion it's pretty decent. You got the main character who's this mysterious girl and she's very iconic. There's some very gruesome scenes in this anime, like the motorboat and the umbrella at the bottom of the staircase. This is like the quintessential horror anime, so I'm just gonna give it an A.
Naomi?
Corpse Party Tortured Souls. This anime is obviously based on the RPG Corpse Party, which I played myself and I love. It's a very short anime, only about 4 episodes, so it's about a movie's length. As the title would lead you to believe, it's a very violent anime. From what I remember of the game and the anime, I think it followed its source pretty well. I don't really remember having any complaints about this anime, other than it's slightly forgettable. Still, I'd give it an A. Devil May Cry the animation. This is of course adapted from Devil May Cry, the Capcom game on PS2, but it's not a good adaptation. And it's such a shame because this was released after one of the best Devil May Cry games, 3. But it's really slow, there's not a lot of action at all. Dante's charisma is almost nowhere to be found. I'm just gonna give Devil May Cry a C. It isn't terrible, but there's a lot of potential for something a lot greater. Devilman Crybaby. Now I've seen other Devilman adaptations in the past, but I can't really remember which ones, because there's a lot of them. But this is the most recent adaptation and the most recent one that I've seen. The art style is unique, which is a good thing, but it contrasts with the violence in the anime. In my opinion, it's just too simplistic and looks like a kid's anime at times. But that doesn't stop the anime from still being perverted as ever. It still hits the same beats as any of the other Devilman adaptations, but I'm just gonna give it a C. I really wish the art style complemented the violence rather than suppressed it, but at least it's not the worst Devilman adaptation.
これも愛なんだから愛
松坂さんも複数の男子と付き合ってたじゃないですかねえ
全然わかんないんですけど
Happy Sugar Life. Now that is a deceptive title. Despite its namesake, the anime is a psychological horror starring a yandere. The anime is very disturbing. Cute on the surface, but twisted within. The anime is consistent on touching on subjects that are very hard to watch at times. There is plenty of mystery in this anime to really engage the viewers, and I'm giving it an A.
ケイチ君の夕飯カップラーメンでしょ豚骨生姜味買ったのはセブンスマート
なんで
でもそれだけじゃダメだよちゃんと野菜も食べなきゃだからケイチ君ここを開けてね
Higurashi When They Cry. This anime is of course based on the visual novel series of the same name, which is a huge series with a lot of spin-offs and remakes. It's honestly really hard with this series to know where to get into or where to start. The series keeps rebooting itself as part of the plot, like a visual novel where you're doing different choices and restarting at the beginning. But from a horror aspect, there's really not much, to be honest. Some of the scenes are very brutal and very memorable, but for a series that's over 70 episodes long, these scenes are very far spaced out. Some of the positive aspects though, the characters are very memorable, and when a gruesome scene happens, you can easily recall it anytime. I'm gonna leave Higurashi When They Cry at a B. It's a good anime, but it's really hard to follow sometimes. There is a new adaptation of this anime that I unfortunately haven't seen, but, you know, I'll get around to it. Eventually. Junji Ito Collection. No. Now, I love Junji Ito's works. They're the perfect example of unsettling horror. On paper. The adaptations of his work are terrible. There's nothing horror about this anime, only horrible. The scary things are laughable. The animation is jank. It's a real shame too, because Junji Ito's works are so good. This is not only the worst horror anime I've ever seen, but it's one of the worst anime I've ever seen in general. It gets a D. Read the manga, don't watch this anime.
なんだか今日疲れてんのかな。
Meiruko-chan. Now this is a great adaptation. The creature designs in the manga were so awesome, and this anime just brings them to life perfectly. The premise itself is hilarious and endlessly entertaining. Yeah, it's just good. I'm giving it an A. I really hope they continue the great work in season 2. Parasite the Maxim, aka Body Horror the Anime. The creature designs in this anime are super unique and cool, and I love seeing them every time they come on screen. The relationship between the main character and the parasite are both comical and horrifying at the same time. There's a lot of moral questioning in this anime, and it's very thought-provoking and very well done. The only real complaint that I have with this anime is that the ending felt really rushed, which is a huge shame because the rest of the anime was paced really excellent. So I'm giving Parasite an A.
ただし、心を火打ち石にして、涙の雨だれなど跳ね返すこと。
Psychopaths! Although this anime is more suspense thriller, there's enough psychological horror themes for me to consider it horror. The characters in this anime are really cool, and the themes are highly engaging. This is an anime by one of my favorite writers, Gen Urobuchi, and in my opinion, it's one of his best work. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of scariness in this anime. It's more of a crime thriller set it in a cyberpunk world, but there's some plot points in this anime that are deeply chilling to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it an A.
こうしないと。さやかちゃん。今のはまずかったよ、まどか。よりにもよって友達を放り投げるなんてどうかしてるよ。何なの？やめて。どういうことだおい。こいつ死んでるじゃねえかよ。
Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Now this is the anime to turn magical girl animes on their head. The very fact that I'm telling you that this is a horror anime is a spoiler in and of itself. When they marketed this anime originally, they purposely hid the dark and disturbing themes within. This is again another anime written by Gen Urobuchi, and this is the one that put him on the map. The anime might start out slow or strange at the beginning, but just wait until episode 3 because the anime completely turns around. This is one of my personal favorite animes. It gets an S. It's an amazing anime and one of the best animes ever made in my opinion. Just don't mind too much the movies and the spin-offs.
約束通り責任取ってくださいね。
Sankareya. Based on what I've seen, there's not a lot of romantic horror anime out there. And this one is decent. The anime is about the main love interest in the anime dying and being brought back to life as a zombie. As a character, she's beautiful, and so is some of the animation and the coloring in the anime. Unfortunately, the plot never really goes anywhere, and the ending seems very abrupt. So I'm leaving Senkareya at a B. It's really unfortunate because the manga is finished, and from what I hear, it wrapped up kinda nicely, but after 10 years, it's probably never gonna get a season 2.
したくなるんだよ先輩みーくんどうしたの
School Live. This is another very deceptive anime, as it starts off as a normal slice-of-life school adventure, but is actually a survival horror about zombies. The direction of this anime is absolutely phenomenal. Like, they added so much that wasn't in the manga, and it made for a perfect series. All the characters are incredibly well written and very memorable. Yuki Takeya is one of my personal favorite anime protagonists. So much so that I even cosplayed her. This anime really made me cry multiple times throughout because there are some plot points that are very deeply tragic. School Live is a beautiful anime. It's very underrated and extremely overlooked. I'm giving it an S. It's an absolutely perfect anime. Please watch it if you haven't.
だって私はレインじゃない違うよ
Serial Experiments Lane. This is one of the most strangest and surreal animes I've ever seen. But it's fantastic. Lane succumbing to the digital world and her eventual takeover is both beautifully paced and very unnerving throughout. The existential themes in this anime are extremely well done and the visuals are stunning. However, it's a very hard anime to recommend due to its high concept and overall bizarreness. Still, it's a strong A.
しかし喜べ小娘今よりお前はわらわのしもべせいぜい可愛がってやろう来たね人形
Toilet-bound Hanako-kun. This anime is just very cute and funny. The anime is very much based on a lot of urban legends and yokai of Japanese folklore. The main character is extremely cute, and unfortunately sometimes relatable. Although the animation is very simplistic, the animators do a fantastic job with it, and that just enhances the experience. I'm giving it an A. It's adorable, humorous, and a pleasant animation.
だってはい逃げるよあれ何
Wonder Egg Priority. This is an incredible anime with beautiful artwork and animation. The anime is very brave for touching on so many triggering topics that a lot of anime never even come close to. Although with some of the themes it does fumble a little bit, the anime never falls flat and is engaging throughout. My personal favorite part of this anime is with the trans-masculine character. That whole scene was just so beautiful and it really made me cry. Despite its scientific and fantastic undertones, Wonder Egg Priority is a very human and empathetic anime. Although the later episodes aren't all great and it ends with a pretty bad cliffhanger, it doesn't sour the rest of the experience of the anime for me. I'm still giving Wonder Egg Priority an A. If some of the latter parts of this anime weren't as bad as they actually are, this would definitely be an S tier anime because the rest of the anime is just that good.
見てない何も見てない何も見てない気のせいだ何も見てない何も見てない
Yami Shibai. This is a very short anthology series, and although it's about 10 seasons long, they're only about 4 minutes per episode. Each episode tells a different story based on a Japanese urban legend. The style is incredibly simplistic, yet the production does a fantastic job in creating creepy atmosphere and uniquely strategizes an uncomfortable feeling at the beginning of the series. With each season comes a slightly different production process, animation and style is changed, sound design, so some seasons are better than others, and of course with an anthology series, some episodes aren't as good as others as well. But the anime is still an A in my book. If they kept with the format of the earlier episodes, I'd probably give it an S. but it's still a good junk food anime that you can binge within a day. So this is my horror anime tier list. Now I know I haven't seen a lot of horror anime, so if you have a favorite that I missed, please let me know down in the comments below. And also let me know how you'd rank these shows. I'm always looking for more horror anime to watch, so your suggestions are very much appreciated. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Have a spooky day!